here for the final Wednesday of August. No, we still in July. I'm already in August. Lord help me. But we are on the final Wednesday in July, and we are going to wrap up our talk about relationships. And today we have a very, 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 very special guest with us today. She is my cousin. Her name is Miss India. And she is with us today because I just truly believe that if you're going to talk about relationships as it relates to faith, then you got to speak about it with a person that has truly exuded an enormous amount of faith as it pertains to her relationships. And I think that it's also important to understand even how you grow in your faith because, at a certain point in time, all of us can literally say that we might not have had as strong faith as we have today. And we can admit to the fact that we might have had to grow in our faith in order to, understand how does faith relate to a relationship? Because for so long, we think that we conjure up stuff, we make up stuff. You know what I'm saying? We make a decision. Right. We decide. Everything that we want. This is who I want. This is who I want to be with. This is what it is. And sometimes we don't understand that who we want is not necessarily part of the plan. And if we would have waited, right, and had faith in the process, then we might not have ended up with what wasn't for us or who wasn't for us or, people surrounding us that aren't for us. So that's what we're going to unpack today. We are truly just going to unpack the weight as it relates to faith. So go ahead, India, introduce yourself, tell the people about you. And everything.
So like Nakia said, I'm her cousin. I'm her big cousin.
So we're just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I got to start out with that. This topic is, you can unpack it in so many ways because there's so many different relationships, right? And faith plays a part in every aspect of one's life. And so when you talk about, let's say a romantic relationship with that person that you plan to spend the rest of your life with, the piece that people may not be aware of is that you have to know the purpose for your life. And until you know the purpose for your life, you don't know if the person in your life is supposed to be there because that person is joined with you to fulfill that purpose. And so if you're with someone just because you think you love them, but you don't understand the purpose that God has for your life, there's a piece missing because I found in my own life that God will not reveal his purpose if I'm not connected to the person that's connected to the purpose.
Oh. Okay.
He's not going to tell you your purpose with the wrong person.
Hold on, I got to write that down. Purpose delayed.
Purpose delayed. So
you connected to the wrong person.
Listen, you're with this person because, let's just say, people stay together because of sex. You're with this person because it's a comfort thing and the sex is great. But God has so much more in store for you with what he wants you to accomplish on this earth. And until you are connected to that person that you're supposed to fulfill that purpose with, he may not even reveal your purpose. You're not ready. You won't let go of what he wants you to let go of. And until you do that, you are delaying your purpose. You're delaying even finding out what it is.
Because you're out of alignment.
You're not being obedient.
You're not being obedient. So you're disobedient and you out of alignment.
Right.
And now your purpose is being held up because you're held up.
Exactly. You're satisfying your flesh and he's waiting for you to satisfy your soul and your spirit. And so he's waiting on you. People say that, God, everything he does is in perfect timing, and that's absolutely true. But when you think about the wait, we're not waiting on God to do things. A lot of times he's giving you the opportunity to make the changes that he needs to see made before he propels you to that next level, before he gives you that extra money. He wants to see how you're going to behave with what you currently have. He's not going to propel you to the next level. So the wait is more about you. than it is about him. You're not waiting on God. He's waiting on you.
Right. Right. And the truth of the matter is that you have a decision to make.
Right.
We can't absolve ourselves of our ability to make good informed decisions, right? And a lot of the times what happens is we absolve ourselves of our own responsibility, and we absolve ourselves of our own accountability. And we sit up here and we act like, well, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. You know, the Bible says those that wait on the Lord shall renew, you know, and all of that sounds real good. But at the end of the day, he's yet waiting on you to make a decision to finally say, okay, yes, I'm
Right.
okay. Okay.
Right.
You know what? I went this way. I tried this way out. This did not work in my favor. Everything, you know, me and my friend, we used to joke about it, but it was so real. We would always say that we knew when we were in a wrong relationship because our finances would completely tank.
Right.
And it was like a way that we would always say, like, the way that God would try and get our attention would be that he knew that he would need to affect our finances in such a way to where we were literally experiencing a drought.
Right.
But everybody don't go to have that same drought, because the drought can be expressed in many different forms and fashions. But for us, it always would be with our finances, we would go into an extreme dry place where we literally had nothing.
Mm-hmm. If you think about it, that really resembles what's going on with your soul anyway in a relationship. You don't see it,
Nothing.
but that person is draining you. And when you're with the right person, you'll always feel full. You'll always feel replenished. You'll actually be functioning in overflow. Because if I'm pouring into you and you're pouring into me, there's always overflow.
I like that. Always full and replenished and operating in the overflow.
Yeah, there's always overflow in the right relationship.
That's the truth, because and the overflow is not, and it's an overflow of peace, it's an overflow of love, it's an overflow of joy, it's an overflow. It's like everything that you could possibly think of is literally just like overflowing, because you are
Right.
in the right relationship, you are connected to the right person or people,
Hmm.
and you're actually flourishing.
Right. And if
No,
we're connected, right? God is going to give us the tools that we need to accomplish the purpose that we're here for, right? As a partnership. And
mm-hmm.
so why would he allow us to drain each other if we're supposed to be together to fight against the world? Not each other, but against the world. I don't have time to go home and be drained by somebody that I'm supposed to be accomplishing my purpose with. He should be replenishing me. I should be replenishing him. And we're replenishing each other because we're already going against the world. The world
Right.
is trying to suck us dry. We come home to be replenished. That's where your peace is. That's where your joy is. You know, it's kind of like when you plug in your phone at night to recharge. A lot of times, if you have an iPhone, the Apple iOS, it happens overnight. You wake up, you got a
Mm-hmm.
new system. You didn't got the
Whole new
update,
system.
whole new system. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen when you're out in the street. It and a lot of times your phone has to be plugged in order for it to be updated. So that's like when you return home. You return home to be replenished, to be able to return back out to the world and to fight against whoever
And
you
to
need to
fight
fight
against,
against. Yeah.
right. See, and that's the truth. And I think that sometimes in the simplicity of life, we miss that part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the simplicity of life, we miss the part that we should be replenished and restored and recharged at home. But
Hmm.
when home becomes a battleground, when home becomes a war zone, when
Mm,
home becomes a place of disarray and no peace, no nothing, you just like, I can't even walk in the door and find peace. I can't
right.
even walk in the door and find joy. I can't even walk
Right.
in the door and find happiness. I can't even walk in the door, like, oh,
Right.
and that drains your life.
Right. And that's what COVID is uncovering and revealing to a lot of people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
those that don't want to go home, they run around until they're so exhausted, they're just going home to go to sleep. But COVID has forced people to face their relationships and address the situation. Like, I should be at peace when I'm at home. I cannot leave, and this is not a place of well being for me. And so a lot of people have had to face that.
And get real and make
Yes.
decisions. Okay, are
Yes.
we in this? Are we out of this? What are we doing? And if
Right.
we're not in it and we out, then let's make that decision and let's keep it moving. But if
Right.
we're gonna be
Or
in this,
are we going to create a place of peace? Right. Are we
well,
going to work
that's
together
what
to create a place of peace?
that's what I
Because
was
we
about to
can't
say.
go anywhere right now.
We can't go nowhere. We can't go nowhere. You know, we can. Let me say, if I was still with that ex of mine,
Preach.
we would have been going somewhere because I wouldn't have
I
dealt
would
with
have.
none.
I would have been on a roof at my house.
Been like, what you're not about to do is make me miserable because you miserable because you can't go
Yeah.
cheat with all the little women.
Listen,
Okay.
it didn't take COVID for me to realize I had to go. I'm just glad it confirmed I'm where I'm supposed to
It's
be
supposed
right
to
now.
be. I know that's
Yes.
right. You know, because real talk, like all jokes aside, you know what? Why my dad called us? Did somebody tell him we was on this good live? I know how y'all family members do. Y'all don't check in, but y'all sure enough get on the phone and call people. You know, I'm
Right.
Miss Moo on that live with Kia, and he won't call. No, don't call. But but yeah, like real this whole situation, this whole like, although it has been horrible, you know what I'm saying, as far as being in a pandemic and experiencing the level of the virus that people have experienced. You know, I've had death, we've all had death in family and everything like that. So,
Right.
but it truly did. It needed to reveal things even about yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not a peacemaker, how shall
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
receive peace? I'm not a peacemaker. Like if I'm not a peacemaker, if I'm a miserable person,
Right.
then I have to begin to understand that I'm creating an atmosphere and an environment that is not conducive for other people to enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times, like when you could walk into a house and feel the room. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? And you could feel where there's tension, you could feel where there's chaos, you could feel where there's literally like a drought. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And I think that in this situation, people just literally had to get real. I even myself had to get even real with myself during this time because I am a person that I do I don't like to deal with certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to express it. I'm just gonna I'm you know what? All right, whatever. I'll go out. Let me go here. Let
Mm-hmm.
me go there. I'm gonna talk to this person. I'm gonna talk to that one. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And COVID was
Right.
like, no, sit down.
Right.
And you're gonna sit down and you're gonna be stuck in the house and you're gonna watch TV. And I kid you not, for like the first month of COVID, I promise you, I cleaned every single day. I washed clothes. There was not if something hit that hamper, it was being washed. Like, oh, I got a low load. Good, I can wash this right now. Boom. Oh, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get up. Let me sweep and mop the floor. I swept and mopped the floors every single day. And so finally the Lord was like, okay, I'm gonna need you to sit down because you need to find peace. Because now you're just
Right.
trying to keep yourself busy. You're trying to keep your mind busy. You're not dealing with peace. So now I need you to refocus and regroup on yourself. And I need you to
Mm-hmm.
become at peace within your own self, because sometimes when we're not even at peace with ourselves, we don't know how to create an atmosphere of peace because we're
Right.
not at peace with ourselves. It, like a lot of this stuff, it literally like comes from within. So
Mm-hmm.
then once we begin to deal with ourselves, then we begin to make peace with ourselves and our environment literally begins to shift and it begins to change. That's
Mm-hmm.
the part where I'm just like, you know what? Yesterday, a friend of mine said to me, you know what, Nakia, even though everything might not be right and it might not be all right and it might not feel all right, but you gotta recognize that it's still all right. You're still all right. You're still good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And a lot of
Yeah.
times we focus on things that should not even grasp like even an ounce of our time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or an ounce of our
Right.
thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But we focus on those things and then it creates in us a toxic environment within our own self that then we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to fight our way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're trying to fight our way out of it, and we can't even fight our way out of it because we don't even have to fight in us to fight out of it. So what happens? Our whole
Right.
aura is just off. We just off person, just walking around. We just off until, you know what I'm saying? Then you have, like I have great friends that'll be like, Nakia, you're all right.
Mm-hmm.
You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Get some thoughts out your mind. You're
Mm-hmm.
okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you really do need that reality check, because when you're dealing with the fact of delayed purpose, right? And when you're dealing with the fact of, you know what, this ain't looking like what I saw.
Right.
Like spiritually, this ain't looking like what I saw. You know what I'm saying? Lord, you showed me this, and I don't see nothing that even remotely resembles this. What is going
Right.
on?
Right. That's the faith walk, though.
Hmm.
That's the faith walk, because there's, I think there's a time in everyone's journey where, I mean, God could have revealed what you believe to be the entire plan, but He would never give you every single step, because where do you learn to trust? And so there are points in your journey where you just have to trust blindly, knowing that whatever you're going to go through, He's going to bring you out on the other side. And whatever you go through, it's going to be number one for His glory. And number two, you're going to learn something out of it. And He's going to use it later for somebody else. It's not always about you, it's for somebody else. And I'm sure every single person that's listening could think of things that they've gone through, not understanding why they went through. And then they may have come in contact with someone and recognized, wow, like I went through that and here I am sharing it with this person. And
Hmm.
so even in this time with COVID and dealing with what you're dealing with, it's not just about you. You're going to be able to speak into somebody else's life on how to get to the other side.
Yeah, but that faith walk,
It's serious.
hello, because it ain't always easy
It's
to
like it's
live.
a love hate. It's a love hate relationship. You
Because you
love
really,
Jesus, but you hate
mhm,
what what you feel like He's putting you through.
right? Because I don't see it.
Hmm. Right.
I see it, but I don't
Yeah.
see it.
And you don't
Like,
know the timing. One thing that God told me, and it was so funny when it was real to me, is because I came out of a very controlling relationship. I mean, controlling across the board. I'm in Target, you've been there for 2 hours. Well, who doesn't go to Target for 2 hours?
who
And
does not go to Target for
who
two
does,
hours?
I mean, you got to be in the front section for an hour. I got to go through everything. I might have a party that I don't know about yet, and I need to prepare. And so I recognized that as I was going through the process of leaving an unhealthy relationship, and God started revealing His plans for me, I would become anxious because I'm thinking, like, in the vision or the dream, this looked like a couple of months, but here we are a year or two in. Like, what's up? And I remember saying, I don't want to be controlling. I don't want to control other people. That's not what I want. And God said, but you keep trying to control
Control
me.
me
And I was like, oh, that's really okay. He's like, you always trying to tell me what to do when you're ready.
now.
I just went and sat down. I did. I sat down. I probably fasted. I don't know.
But look, but you know you sat down though.
But I know I sat down and I said nothing. Because God whispers, but when He really wants to get His point across, He is so clear. And when He
Sister,
said, but you always trying to tell me what to do, he had a little grit in his I could sense a little grit in his voice. A little bass.
you can't.
He had a little bass. I was like, that was not a whisper. That wasn't a whisper. He was real clear with me. And I said,
Sir,
okay, you're right.
sir,
You're right.
you spoke
Yeah.
audibly clear, sir. Thank you. Look,
You spoke very clear. I received that.
I feel like that was a message from the Lord for me right now. Like, you always trying to tell me what to do. Fall back, ma'am. Okay,
Always.
because you
Always.
you want me to do something when it's your
Yeah.
time and when
Right.
you feel you ready. But you know what? You know what? Let me say. But I blame all you little off base prophets. I blame y'all for that because y'all always want to come talking about because it's your time and it's your season and the Lord is going to do this and the Lord is going to do that,
Right.
and then when He don't do it, you always
Right.
want to say, "Well, it was your fault because you wasn't ready." No,
But when you speak into someone's life prophetically, you're saying what you receive, but an hour could be a day could be a year,
and
right? We don't know.
they need to go back
And
before the Lord
right,
and
right,
get the specifications of
right,
the good word. Do not tell
right,
me it's going to happen soon and for God
Right.
soon to be 10 years from now, because that ain't my definition of soon.
Listen, God told me in April of 2018, and I kid you not, I was on a plane, and he said, "You are on the verge of a precipice." I know he said it because I had no idea what precipice means. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. That's how sure
Amen.
I am that that's the word he said. And he said it, and I like jumped because I said, "Press what?"
Did we Google?
And I looked it up. And it's like a very climatic moment. It's earth shattering. It's shifted. It could be huge, bad, or just mind blowing. Okay, but I wouldn't say that that moment has happened yet. But you're talking about 2 years.
2 years.
And to say I'm on the verge of something, I'm on the verge for 2 years. Okay.
I'm happy about that, Verge. So come on, Verge.
Come on, verge.
Let me tell you something. All jokes aside, so 2 years ago, right?
Hmm.
Um, okay, it was a Good Friday service, right? And God bless her, Pastor Jill released a good word to me. She said, this was Good Friday. She said she she said from now to the next 6 months, right?
Hmm.
She said, you're going to experience one last blow.
Mm.
She said, but this blow
Hmm.
is going to, I don't know if she used the word propel or catapult, but she said it's going to propel, basically launch my ministry.
Hmm.
She said some other things, okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
But she said, you are going to experience one final blow.
Okay.
And no more than 30 days later
That blow hit.
was my
You
head
thought you
going
was
through
gonna
that.
blow up.
Girl, I didn't think it was that type of blow. I didn't think that the blow was going to be
You
my
didn't take
head
it
going.
literally.
I didn't think that blow was going to be my head going through that car window. You hear me? I didn't think
Oh
that. I
God.
didn't think that blow was going to
Right.
be, you know what I'm saying, miscarrying. I didn't think that.
Right.
I didn't think that blow was going to be so major to the point where in my mind
Hmm.
I was going to die, right?
Right.
Maybe I didn't die physically, but in my
Hmm.
mind, emotionally,
Yeah.
mentally, spiritually, it was a wreck. But
Hmm.
the only when as everything was happening, the only thing I could remember was, God, you warned me that this blow was coming.
Hmm.
So I had to draw on the strength from God to say, you warned me that this blow was coming. I didn't know the type of
Right.
blow this was going to be.
Right.
But now that I look at it, you know what I'm saying, like 2 years later, and it has done exactly what she said it was going to do.
Hmm.
Why? Because sometimes when we go, like you said earlier, we go through things, it ain't for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We go through it, and our job is to tell how we made it through it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? As opposed to being stuck in it and
Hmm.
taking on like a victim type mentality. And for the life of me, like you said earlier, I was living, but my purpose was so delayed
Hmm.
to the point where the purpose that I was living was a false purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the thing that we have to understand, because this is not just about romantic relationships. This is about
Right.
relationships as a whole. You
Right.
can be truly connected to people that truly are a detriment to your purpose and your future, because that's where your future is. Your future lies in your purpose. What am I here to do? Let me say this,
Right.
because when I was with that ex, okay, I was trying so hard to change positions and everything, kept getting denied. I'm like, I ain't never
Right.
not got a job offer, right? Never. I was like, Lord, what is going on here?
Right.
And since then,
Hmm.
every step I've made, I've gone up,
Right.
right? And sometimes it's because God is like, no, what I'm not about to do is have you waste your good blessing on a curse. We're not doing that. That's not for you. That's not where you're supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was saying in my head, I'm like, but Lord, all this stuff is being prophesied. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. Everything was I'm supposed to. And the Lord was like, yeah, but you ain't with the right person for all of that. So I can't even, we're not doing that. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be tainted if I do it in that season with that person around those people. That's going to be tainted. I can't do that for you. You know what I'm saying? But it was like in my faith walk, why am I not seeing what I see? Like, why isn't this coming to fruition? Why isn't this happening? And the Lord was like, ma'am, that's cursed stuff over there. And I need you to come back over here in holiness. You're not in holiness over there. You're in divination. I need you to come on over to the other side. I need you to come back. And the Lord will do, he will literally do that. He will literally do that. Like he will literally shift up your whole life. Even, I ain't telling you business, never mind. But if you wanted to, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Even for you, like, come on, you had a blow. That was a blow. But the blow made you make a decision. Like, you know what? We good.
I'll say this. When it comes to, God revealing your purpose, it wasn't until I left an unhealthy, situation, marriage, where it wasn't until I left that God revealed my purpose. Even, of course, people on on the podcast may not, but we lost a child, and that was in 2014. I started a nonprofit in 2018. It was never revealed to me in between that time until I left to start the nonprofit. It was never revealed. It was never revealed to me, my purpose. God never revealed anything relating to ministry. I thought I would be an accountant forever in a little corner crunching numbers. When God showed anything related to ministry, I was blown. Like, what are you talking about? But that wasn't until I was gone. He didn't reveal any of that until I was gone.
But he prepared you before you left.
He did. He prepared me. I saw the signs, but I didn't think that it was going to be a call on my life. I thought it was just, I thought it just filled that time, connecting with other parents, having to join a group that I don't want to be in. Nobody wants to say I'm in this group of people that lost a child. But what has come out of that is this opportunity to share the love of Christ with other parents who are still struggling and dealing with the loss of a child. I'm able to say that at that time, my 4-year-old told me that, Mommy, do you know that Jesus feeds the babies in the nursery? And he's feeding Mason right now. There was no opportunity to grieve. I'm so focused on Jesus feeding my son in the nursery. And I'm able to tell other parents, no, like, Christ is real. Don't feel like, your child is in the wilderness and, it's not like that. It's not like, I don't even look at death the same. Right. And that's all because of Christ. That's all because of Christ.
This one eyelash is getting on my whole good nerve. And, I talk about people with the one little eyelash is lifting up in the corner. So don't mind me if I keep trying to like fix this one little eyelash because this is irking and I'm aggravated that it's doing that. You know how like when you talk about people with certain things happening and then it's happening to you and I'm looking at this camera. Like, so I already talked about it. So don't talk about me, y'all. That one eyelash keep lifting up. That glue, the glue ain't working right. But anyway, but that's real because the amount of faith that I saw you exude when Mason did pass, even before Mason's passing, even while you were pregnant with Mason and everything, was literally unmatched. I have yet to necessarily see that again, but that's just because I haven't necessarily been around someone that has lost a child in that way again. But what you displayed carried you and everybody else through their entire situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched you. I mean, we was all praying. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, even with the prayers, we believed God. And we also accepted God's will, right? And with that, it literally catapulted you in your faith even more. You know what I'm saying? We all have faith, right? You know, they used to sing that little song, faith, 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 just a little more faith. So, okay, we all had a little more faith, but your faith grew to the point where it wasn't just mustard seed faith. It was like, you know what, God, whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
All
And I remember listening to you, watching you, hearing you, and my faith was not there. We lost her. But I will say this, you know, my faith was not where her faith was. And the amount of faith that she literally displayed during that time literally was unmatched. Here we go. We adding it back. There we
sorry
go.
about that. I don't know what happened.
Girl, you know, the storm, I think the storms is like kicking everybody out, but it's okay. But
Yeah.
I was just saying that the amount of faith that you had during that season, during that time, and even now to this day, to the point where, listen, you know, sometimes when you exude and you can speak in that amount of faith, people really look at you like you're crazy and think that you're delusional.
hmm
Like they really
Yeah.
think, you know what, you're delusional.
Right.
That's not real, and you don't lost your mind. And
Right.
okay. Until they
hmm
see what you've been seeing come to fruition, and now it
hmm
becomes reality. Then it's like, oh, that was real.
Right.
Yeah, it was real.
Yeah. I
Because
just feel like I'm in good company.
come on, good
I'm
company.
like, I'm like, hey Noah, me and you together.
Believe, believe
They didn't
it.
believe that boat was being built for good purpose until it started to rain. Then they wanted to
Hello,
get on it.
and you was
So
not
I
in that
really
count.
no. I just keep believing Christ. You know, like I really just keep believing Christ. And the more people doubt the things that I've shared with them over the years,
And the
the
more they
more
see it,
excited I get. The more excited I get because I'm like, when he do what he about to do,
hello,
he gonna tell you, mm, you gonna want a piece of this, Jesus. You're gonna want to know him for yourself.
for
You're sleeping
yourself.
on him, but you're gonna want to know him for yourself, and that's really where what it's about. Because everything that he has shown me, he has made it clear it has nothing to do with me, and so that's the humbling part. You know, we're joking now, but I really don't take it for granted, and I don't look at anything like, oh, it's about me. You know, I don't put a title on myself. I don't claim a gift. I just said he tells me what he tells me, what he tells me, what he wants me to know at that time. I try to be as obedient as I can, but it really just goes back to him. The light shines on him. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to get the glory for it. Everything he tells me, India, I'm not doing it for you. He will clearly tell me that I am not doing this for you. It is about me. And I'm like, thank you for humbling me. I don't want it to be about me. I really don't. I don't want the spotlight. I don't need it. Um, so I just ride out. I just listen to what he says.
No, I mean,
I want his voice to be the loudest one.
and
I
it
want his
is.
voice to be the loudest. Yeah.
And it definitely is. And you exude it, you live it, and he is forever showing
hmm
that he is a keeper of his word, that his word will truly never return unto him void. So
Right.
everything I like, even you said that you were going to have Christian and you had them.
Yep. Yep. That's when Mason was still in the hospital. You know, we had been there for a couple of months, and I woke up from a dream, and and in the dream I had told my husband at the time, we're gonna have another baby. I'm pretty sure of it. You know, that's what I saw. I said, "You cool with that?" And he said, yeah, yeah, I guess so. I said, "Okay." And you know, Mason transitioned to heaven, and shortly after, I had gotten pregnant. And of course, you know, of course, you have the naysayers that will try to say that you are trying to replace a child, but anyone that has lost a child knows very
You
well
can't
you
replace.
cannot replace a child. There is no such thing. And so it was all Christ. You know, the whole entire purpose for me having Christian. And here goes Christian. You know, I was pregnant shortly after Mason passed, and he's supposed to be here. He thinks he runs the show, you know. And he thinks he knows Mason. He said he saw him in heaven. So
Listen,
there goes that.
there it is. Okay.
There it is. There
Out
it
of the
is.
mouth of babes. You know, that's why the
Yes,
Bible is very clear that he said we should come to him like children.
exactly.
Okay. And honestly, you exude that because you just come to God like, listen, all right, here it
Mm-hmm.
is. What do you
Mm-hmm.
have for me? I never forget when you said that to me. You were like, I'm just like, Jesus, what do you have for me? What
Mm-hmm.
is it that you want to tell me? What is it that you want to say? And I never forget because that's what made me literally go to the car and give you that darn book because I was like,
Yeah.
all right, you know
Yeah.
what? Let me go
I'm
give her
starting to
this
notice
book.
that you're in very like specific moments of my life when I look back and I'm like, these are some monumental moments. And Kia just shows up.
Showed up.
You showed up at my house that day uninvited.
I did.
You never said, hey, what you doing? It was just like, hey girl. I'm like, what? I'm down the street. What? All right. All right. I'm gonna open the door. I'm here, and here you go. I'm like, I'm just trying to hear God's voice. I just want to hear God's voice. I don't know if I'm hearing it properly. And you said, I'll be right back. And who would have a book in their car called Hearing God's Voice specifically? And that catapulted everything.
Who is knocking on a good door? Because you ain't gonna ignore my good babies. They are
I
knocking.
am ignoring them. I have put a hedge between them and me.
Wait, because they say like,
Yes, it is. I tell you, the more you tell them to do something, the more they do the opposite.
hello, because you would like do
Yeah.
not disturb, and they like, but wait a minute, I got a question.
I said, listen, don't knock on the door. And what do you have? Knocking on the door.
But that is the blessing of children. Children,
Yes.
they
Right.
truly are a blessing. So therefore, listen, they know what it means when you just straight just ignored them. Like me, I would
Yeah.
have been like, "What do you want? You see what I'm doing?" You know, I had to
Yeah.
acknowledge your presence and everything. Y'all parents, y'all got that
Mm-mm.
down. I don't know how they ignore. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Come on,"
Oh, I'm great.
you
Straight
know,
face. I don't even
because you
sense your presence.
because you didn't flinch at all. And I'm like,
I'm
you don't hear
focused.
that? Look, you don't hear
Yeah.
that knocking? I heard it. No,
No,
but
no,
for
no time for distraction.
all jokes aside, like you're right. I never really paid attention to that. That I do pop up at the good monumental times of life. You know what? I think that's a gift. I just pop up.
I think you don't know you're being sent and you're sent, right?
Okay.
Because it's not like you and I have ever lived around the corner from each other.
Uh-uh.
And
Uh-uh.
so for you to end up at my house is a plan. In your at least in your head, it wasn't a let me stop by. No, we don't live close enough for you to stop by. And to have
That's
an
the thing.
overnight bag.
I was prepared. I was like, oh, I got my bag. Wait a minute.
What is happening? But it was, yeah, I needed it.
Look, here I
I
come.
needed it.
Woo. Nah, but that's one of the good things about being family and being cousins and being close. Like at the end of the day, we don't have to talk every single day, but if there's a need, we
Mhm.
there. Point blank
Right.
period. Whatever
Right.
the need is, this is where
Hmm.
we're gonna be at, this is where we at, and this is how we're gonna move and listen. And
Right.
one of the things that I know of is the fact that at that time and in that season you were searching, right?
Oh,
And when you're searching, it's so easy to be led astray from because you get
right.
so many different words. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm in the area. Hey, Miss Mo, what you doing? All right,
Hmm.
I'm around the corner. I'm coming
Right.
over. And then
Right.
as we began to talk and as we began to speak, I need to hear the voice of God. I need to know what it sounds like. What it is. What it out. Be right back. Won't
Yeah.
do. Here we go. Here, come take. And you know what?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think.
I rebought that book too. I sure enough did. It's right here. That book stays with me for forever. For the simple fact that book is monumental in life,
Wow.
because it truly helped
Hmm.
me in a season of quietness. Right. God, I need to hear you. I need to
Hmm.
understand you. I need to feel you. I need to know that you are here. And I need to know that it is you and not anybody else because, hello, goodbye. This is what I need.
Yeah.
So now, but like I said, watching you walk through your walk
Hmm.
and watching you go through everything that you went through, it just exuded so much faith. And it wasn't like, and that's why I think people have to understand that when you talk about relationships, we're really talking about relationships with all people. It's not just romantic. It's not just, like platonic little friendships. It's how you literally relate and build a bridge with
Hmm.
everybody that is actually connected to you. right? And sometimes we do not even think to ask God, should I be connected to this person?
Mm-hmm.
Are you something that I need to bridge, or are you a gap? Which one are you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and what we don't realize is that when we begin these connections and we get connected to the wrong people and the wrong things begin to happen to you, then you have to reassess this connection. And it might not be, and it's not that you're a bad person or anything like that, but it's the fact that you're actually trying to hinder where I'm going. And now I got to reassess you and your purpose, because what you just did, what you just said, how you just reacted, whatever it is, was actually a hindrance. And it literally was not something that was to propel, not even this relationship. And I be having to I reassess a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you always get people, oh, I don't want no new friends. I'm like, no, I'm not that person. I actually honor relationships, so I respect whatever is new to come into my life, because the Bible told me, God said he's doing a new thing. Shall you not perceive it? No, I perceive all things new, Lord. I perceive it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we get so hooked on certain terminology that we say that we don't even understand that you could literally be blocking something that is so great because you don't want nothing new. Something's wrong with you.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Because you need to embrace what is new, because maybe what's old ain't really got you where you should be. And I've had to realize that, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as I am like, I be trying to hold on to relationships because, you know what I'm saying, I battle with rejection, so I don't necessarily like to reject anybody, right? That feeling of like you're rejecting them, you abandon them, whatever the case may be. Because I have not liked when people have done it to me. But what I began to realize is that everything is just not rejection. Some things is literally just like, you know what, I gotta shift this way. So as I'm shifting this way and you're not shifting with me, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it ain't no love lost. I still love you. I still care for you. If I see you, I'm gonna give you a hug. But our connection, that closeness, we gotta like put a gap in between that, because we are not that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in that. And I've had to learn it. Okay.
Yeah. I think the saying is true. People are in your life for a reason or a season. And so when it comes to your purpose, that person may have fulfilled the purpose that they had in your life.
At that time.
That time is gone. It's nothing personal. It's just time to move on to the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be able to handle where you're going. And it doesn't say anything negative about them. It's just their time in your life is over. And you just have to receive that and continue. Because God will remove people. There were people removed out of my life. It's like there was no argument. There was no disagreement. There was no fight. It was just over.
Like, okay.
It's just no other phone call was made between the two of us.
And that's all right.
And that was it. And that was it. And it's okay. It is quite okay. And new people have come in. And I see that there's a purpose for them in my life as well. They're showing me, in terms of with my nonprofit, how do I advance to the next level? Because it's not about me, right? It's about me advancing what God wants to do in my life. And so he'll send people, he'll send the help that I need. If I'm against meeting new people, how can I receive the help that I need? The people that I know don't know it. They don't know what I need. So I need those new relationships. And the biggest relationship that we need to be focused on is Christ. Because if you don't have a relationship with him, none of your relationships in your life will be right, because you might be in a relationship too long. If it's romantic, if it's a friend, regardless of the magnitude of the relationship, if Christ is not the main relationship that you're focused on, you're not hearing his voice, you're not heeding to his call to move on, to engage, to help, because sometimes you're the person that needs to feed into someone else's life. There's nothing that they're there to do for you. You're there to help them. And you have to just have that discernment to hear his voice, to know how to proceed.
That's the truth. At the end of the day, and especially, if everybody has various different belief systems. Everybody has various different faith systems, spiritual systems, and the key is that what you believe should be at the center of who you are, right?
Right.
And if what you believe is truly not at the center of who you are, then you're already walking out of alignment for where you're supposed to go, because your belief is not as strong as your words. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can speak a thing, but I don't necessarily believe it on the inside of me. So I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible calls that, what do you call that? Clangling brass and whatever, that whole scripture, right? Because you're making a whole lot of noise, but you empty inside, right? And a lot of times we don't realize that, because a lot of times we are talking so much, but we're doing so little.
Right.
And we talk so much because we want to make it sound real good. So we just like,
Right.
But on the inside, you empty, you shallow, you broken, you tortured, you in pain, you're miserable, you're angry, you're bitter, you're all these things because you just, and ain't nothing moving, nothing shaking, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that was like, even for myself, after everything happened to me or whatever, I went into a season where I had to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, why are you not preaching? Why are you not teaching? Why are you not? I said, because the Lord doesn't have for me to do that right now. I'm in a season of being quiet. Because if I was to do that, I would literally be empty inside. So you would be hearing words, but I would be empty. And I think that it takes a big person to recognize I need to be quiet. And then when the time is right, the Lord will begin to open up your mouth so that you can speak. But you have to be able to hear him, and heed the call and heed the time in which you were in. I knew I was in a season of restoration. And you know what? And the truth of the matter is, like, I'm still in that place of restoration. You know what I'm saying? I'm still there. And I'm still learning how to bridge relationships, and I'm still learning how to put gaps in relationships where there needs to be a gap, right? But I'm learning all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's about what and who do I want to be connected to, right? What is my brand, right? Because my brand speaks to me. So what is my brand? What do I really want to be connected to? And okay, Lord, I got faith in the vision that you're actually showing me spiritually, but now I need to understand, how do I walk this vision out so that naturally everything begins to line up? You know, I've always told people like there's a one-to-one relationship between the spiritual and the natural. It's a one-to-one relationship. That's why he said, whatever you bind on earth, you bind in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth, there is a one-to-one relationship. So therefore, if what I see spiritually is not manifesting naturally, something is broken that relationship. So it's up to me to say, okay, Lord, what you're showing me spiritually is not aligning naturally, so something's wrong here in the natural. What is it?
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, he dries up all of my damn finances and be like, get rid of that nigga, because I ain't tell you to have him.
Or whatever you're idolizing, whether it's a man, whether it's you're coveting something that you shouldn't be, anything you're putting in front of him, because we know he's jealous, and he has every right to be.
Mine wasn't. It wasn't. You know, it wasn't. It was some little romantic relationships.
Yeah.
And the Lord had to break them all.
But you know that's how he deals with you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long for him to correct you.
No, because first of all,
yeah,
how we are, you begin to realize when your money start drying up and you like, oh, I can't even buy a shoe.
Yeah.
Like, and I ain't talking about an expensive shoe. I'm talking about.
I will normally be called to fast.
Hello.
Yeah.
See, but that's good.
They'll be like, get off that good social media for 3 months. What? Yeah. He don't play no games. And you're gonna fast, and he'll tell me what I'm fasting, why I'm fasting. He'll say how long. He'll just tell me like, okay, today's the last day, or you can go back today, But yeah, he'll
But
shut it
that's
down.
see, but
And thank you for that, Jesus. Thank you. Thank
because you
you.
look, you don't
Because I don't
realign
want to be
me
like the Israelites in the wilderness. I don't want to be in the wilderness
for 40 years.
longer than I need to be.
Got me out here looking crazy and stupid, and then I still don't make it to the promise because you got angry. No, never mind. I'm good. I'm
Right,
good.
right, right,
Look, you let my kids'
right.
kids look. You let my kids hit that promise, but me, never mind.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got you. That's
yeah.
not listen. But like you said, it. One thing about the good Lord, he literally he knows how to grab my good attention, and he'll be like, okay, let me yoke you up real quick, and then boom. And when it happens, it happens. So, and I be appreciative of it happening. Is that Christian? I'm like, wait a minute. I know I heard that, mommy. I'm like, oh, I heard it. Wait, you muted yourself, girl. You got to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I have no idea how he got in. He's MacGyver.
Christian said, oh, I'm going to find a way. Okay. Christian might want to make his debut and be like, and say hello. Ask Christian, be like, Christian, do you want to say hello? Because Christian don't play no games. Listen, that's what happens. Listen, when you a mommy and you got kids, every you have no private time. Your time is always parent time, and that's what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. We love the kids, so listen, I respect it. But but anyway, going back to what we're saying, so that's why we really wanted to come on here and really just talk about faith as it pertains to relationships, because it truly is important that you exercise your faith in everything, and faith also goes in line with discernment. Uh,
Hmm.
you got to trust what you feel on that good inside of your good spirit, to know what you know and be sure in what you know. And don't allow
Right,
someone to gaslight you into thinking
right.
that what you know isn't what you know. Okay.
Hmm.
And that right there is very important, because sometimes people do not understand when they are like gaslighting specialists. They like specialize in a gaslight. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
specialize in making you feel like you crazy for what you're saying, because you don't have any physical, tangible proof of it, but you have discernment enough to know that something ain't right, and you got faith enough in God to know that this is not the will for your life. And I think that that is important, that we have to begin to align these concepts together so that we can stop engaging in toxic relationships with people, period. That
Right.
goes for coworkers on your job. If they toxic, they are toxic, period. I might have to speak to you as it relates to work, but what I won't do is go sit across from a table from you and nobody's happy hour. I don't have to do it. In any job,
Right.
and a lot of times some of these jobs will tell you and they'll be like, oh, well, you're not a team player. No, I am a team player, but I
Right.
refuse to sit across the table from someone that thinks that they can speak to me, treat me, or whatever in your kind of way.
Hmm.
People have to understand that in all relationships are truly built on respect, right?
Hmm.
People love to say that respect is earned, trust is earned, all this stuff is earned, but really and truly, all this stuff is actually given.
Hmm.
What happens is that we do things that then take away from the respect, and then it takes away from the trust, and then it
Hmm.
takes away from the honor and the honesty and all that stuff. We do things that cause things those types of things to be diminished. So we have
Right.
to recognize when, even if it's our own self, if I break your trust, then I then have to work in order to earn back your trust, right? And
Hmm.
if the situation is vice, if you break my trust, then you have to work your way back into earning it again. And a lot of
Right.
times we don't fully understand that, because we don't want to deal with the fact that some things do cause harm and they will cause a breach or a break within the process. And we
Hmm.
have to learn that it's okay to say, I am not okay with what you just did, and this broke
Right.
this. So if we want to mend this, then we're going to need to mend this. And if we're not going to mend it, then we're just not going to mend it. And we're going to go on about our good business. Because at the end of the day, people, we don't have time to keep wasting it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I say this all the time to people. Your time is valuable. That is a valuable commodity that you should not waste on anything that is frivolous, right? And if you continue to waste your time on things that are frivolous, what is it that you are doing? Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to recognize the value in ourselves in order to recognize the value in our time. I said this like a couple weeks ago in a good podcast. I said, you know what? My presence is valuable. My words are valuable. So if I speak to you, then you need to recognize the value in the fact that I'm actually valuing you enough to actually bestow these good words upon you. Point blank, period. Right? Because oftentimes we devalue ourselves. And when we devalue ourselves, we literally spend time and energy around people and things that truly just add nothing to your life. What are you here for if you're not adding? Because if you're not adding, you are literally subtracting. And I have a problem when things are being taken away from me and not poured back or added unto me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to recognize with people. You know what I'm saying? Our job as people, we are builders. We should be natural builders. So whatever we do, we should be building upon people, period. And not wasting each other's time and all this other extra stuff that always ends up happening because, you know, at the end of the day, we truly just don't value each other enough. You know what I'm saying? And that is just such a problem. And we don't have faith enough to recognize that something is wrong and that we need to get back in alignment with our purpose and what we are here for. And a lot of times, you know, like you said this earlier, you were like, you know, your purpose wasn't revealed until after you left. And sometimes we have to understand when we are in a holding pattern and we're just going around and around and around in a circle and we're not going anywhere. The only thing we know is that we're going around, and we have to recognize when we are in that level of a pattern, that means that we're not moving something. Somehow, some way, we have experienced a block that is saying, nope, you're just going to keep going around. And we don't want to fully recognize that we're actually being hindered and we're not being propelled, we're not being pushed, and we're not being launched. Life is always about forward progression. Life should never be about just being stagnant. Whatever you do in life should be about forward progression. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes, even if you work within a corporate structure, even if you're building your own, you know, empire, you have your own business, everything that you do to build is to move forward. You don't want to be stuck where you're at today, right? That's why most businesses have a 5-year, they start out with a 5-year plan. They be like, all right, the first 3 years, we know we're going to be operating in a negative, but them last 2, you know, we're going to move forward, and we should start seeing that negative turn more into a positive. We should literally go from the good red into the black. We should see such a surplus that it's going to be ridiculous, right? And that's how we should build upon the relationships in our life and say, okay, Lord, what is it that you are showing me about this situation, about this person, about this relationship, about this thing where, okay, right now I might be the one that is depositing, right? Because oftentimes me personally, I might not always be the one that's depositing. Somebody else might literally be depositing into me because I'm in the red, right? But at a certain point in time, that them depositing into me will help me, and then it's going to build me up to a point where now I'm no longer in the red. I'm now in the positive. I'm in the black. So let's do this, you know. And then the situation gets, you know, then it gets flipped. I believe that in all things, in all relationships, this is how we should be, you know, give and take. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are going to be on the receiving end, others are going to be on the taking end, but it should always be a give and a take. It should never be someone's just always constantly taking from you and you're not receiving anything. And I had to realize that because sometimes, you know, in life you'd be like, when I need something, ain't nobody here. Where are all the people? Where's everybody else at when I was giving? But now that I need, ain't nobody here. Nobody. Phone ain't ringing. Phone dry as hell. You know what I'm saying? Email dry as hell. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody knocking on your door. Your door dry as hell. Everything just dry. Nobody's around. But the minute you come out, everybody there. No. We have to recognize and discern people. We really do. And when we do that, we will begin to truly operate in our good purpose, because you cannot, you literally cannot, because something borderline folk taking advantage of you. Don't take advantage of me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes, we'll say things like, so and so took advantage of me, blah 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 blah, and it's like, yeah, they took advantage of you, but you allowed it, right?
Right.
People can't do to you what you do not allow them to do, right? So
Mhm.
I'm more like, now, you know what I'm saying? It's no more, well, you did this or you did that. It's like, oh, okay, you know what? I allowed you to do that, and this is the outcome of that. But now that I am better now and I can recognize and I can see you better, understand you ain't
Right.
getting not near a bit of another day. Okay?
Right. Right.
Point blank with the good period. And let me say this, people don't understand, like, at the end of, like, hardship, right? And when you're coming out of a season of hardship, right?
Mhm.
Um, Oftentimes, when you're so used to being the giver, it is very hard for you to receive, right? And,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. That's major.
and I'm, girl, yes, and I'm one of those people. It's very hard for me to receive, right? And I was having a conversation, what I'm saying, with a friend the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not used to receiving, because I've always been the giver. I've always been the
Mhm.
one that has given, and
Mhm.
I've never been really the one that has necessarily received. So it's very hard for me to even receive, but I'm always appreciative, right? But it's also very hard for me to ask, right? So because of that, sometimes you kind of like box yourself in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really
Yeah.
box yourself. You really box yourself in, and you don't understand where God is literally operating, right? And my friend, he had to tell me, he was like, God has placed me in your life because I'm here to help you.
Mhm.
Like, this is my purpose. This is what I'm here for. You need a
Right.
shoulder, I'm here for it. You needed this, I'm here for it. You need that,
Right.
I'm here for it. Like, this is what I'm here for. So don't be afraid to say, yo, I need this, because
Yeah.
this is what I'm here for. And
Right.
and I had to sit back and really think about that. And I said to myself, I think I told you this yesterday. I was like, you know what? For him being such a great friend, he
Mhm.
set the bar very high for any man to really come into my life. And it's not about anything outside of the fact that I'm always the giver, right?
Mhm.
To the point where I don't know when to stop giving, right?
Right.
So now the bar has been set to be like, listen, it's good to give because you're a giver, you know what I'm saying? Because you have a good heart. But you also have to understand that whatever you give out should be returned back to you. That's like the law of
Right.
reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? And we don't fully
Mhm.
understand that, because in relationships, it's always like that one person just, oh, here, 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 here. Oh, I'm gonna take care of you. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do that. And that was me. I was always that one person. Oh, okay, you need this. Okay, I'll figure it out. Oh, you need that. Okay, I'll figure it out. Oh, okay, well, here, take this. Oh, okay, here, take. And then next thing you know, the second I need something, there's not an ounce of anything
Yeah.
given. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was just like, he's truly set the bar, not just for a romantic relationship, but even for friendships. And it's about literally someone that knows how to be there, someone that knows how to be a friend. You know what I'm saying? Someone that understands that if I call you and I'm just not, like, if I don't really call you and then I pick up the phone and call you, what's going on?
Mhm.
What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I need some type of advice or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what you need to talk through? Because I'm always the person that talk through everything with everybody. But when I need somebody
Yeah.
to talk to, ain't nobody there to talk. But
Right.
he showed me, because as soon as, if I need to talk, I'm like, hey, you got a minute right now? You think you? And
Mhm.
he was like, see, you asking right? See, I am busy, but you know what? Hold up, I'm gonna call you right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's important to be around people that literally will make time for you. You know what I'm saying? The same way how
Right.
I, like, listen, I might not be available right now. I might be on a conference call, but I will make time for you.
Right.
I'd be like, hold up, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna call you right back. My friend, she just called. I was on a conference call earlier today, and she was like, girl, that was the longest conference call ever. You was on a conference call for like 12 hours. You were supposed to call me back. I was like, sis, I'm sorry, but you know what? What's going on? And then we talk, right? And I believe that that's important. Like as friends, this is what we're supposed to do for each other. We supposed to be there, point blank, period.
Yeah.
As friends, I'm not saying you got to be there every, because some people are draining. But I ain't talking about I'm not talking about the draining friends, y'all. I'm talking about the ones that I'm saying are not draining, but really just might need you. And like I said, my friend, he has truly set the bar high as far as the romantic relationship go. And as far as friendships go, I'm like looking like, what friend look like? Okay, yes, okay, I can do that. Okay, yes. I'm like, what I'm saying? Listen,
Mm-hmm.
they say any great relationship should start off as a friend, right? So therefore,
Right.
you done set the whole bar for these little friends. Okay,
Yeah.
let the friends know bar is set. Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think, in summation of everything that we talked about, it goes back to the discernment to know when to leave a relationship, to know when it's your turn to pour into somebody versus when you need someone to pour into you. Um, and that goes across the board and every, whether it's romantic, whether it's a friendship, it all goes back to the relationship that you have with Christ first. That's your first relationship. That's the priority. That relationship is what sets the tone for the marriage, the friendships. Jesus is a friend. He's our father and he's our friend. And
Listen,
so, you have to have that discernment. If you don't have a relationship with Christ, you'll never be a good friend. You won't be a good spouse. You won't be a good confidant. You won't be trustworthy. None of that.
that's why it is so important for people to understand people's beliefs, right? It is
Hmm.
very important to understand what do you believe, because the
Hmm.
truth of the matter is, like, and I have a lot of good people that I know, you know what I'm saying, and they have a very strong belief system. They're very strong. They're very strong in their faiths, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I can respect that because you're strong in your faith. What
Hmm.
you, if you Muslim, you believe in Allah, and you live by the precepts and the concepts and of the good Quran, I'm with you. Why? Because
Hmm.
okay, if you Buddhist and you believe in Buddha and all that stuff, and you follow whatever the Buddhist people follow, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I have grown in such a way that I have learned how to respect people, because at the end of the day, who you believe, what you believe, how you believe really all shapes who you are as a person.
Hmm.
And if you have a strong belief system, you know what I'm saying, that drives you.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, our job is to love. That's it. And that goes across any belief system. Your job is to love. And if your belief system don't teach you to love, something wrong with that belief system. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, nothing that you believe should cause division. Nothing
Right.
that you believe should cause hurt. Nothing that you believe should cause pain. Nothing that you believe should cause, strife. Nothing that you believe should cause any of that.
Hmm.
So if for some reason what you believe literally makes you a miserable, horrible person, then we need to check that belief system and belief structure and understand where is your heart, because
Right.
there ain't no way that it should make you that. And this is what you're telling me you believe. And I think that that is
Right.
important for all relationships. Your faith drives your relationships, and that's real.
Absolutely. Yep.
Your faith drives your relationships. You know what I'm saying? And if you have clouded, shady faith, then you're going to have clouded, shady relationships. And until
Right.
you learn how to have literally, like, faith beyond measure, faith that literally just tells you, you know what, God, for you I live and for you I die. So whatever it is that you have for me, this is what it's going to be. And I'm
Right.
going to walk according to this. I'm going to walk according to what I believe. I'm going to walk according to my faith. I'm not going to walk according to what I can physically see, but I'm going to walk according to what I know that you have shown me. And you know what?
Right.
We're going to do this walk blindly. And like you said earlier, all right, God, I'm going to stop telling you what I think you should do. And I'm just going to allow you to do what I know you know how to do best. So let me do
Right.
that real quick. Let me I think that was a
Yep.
good message for me because Lord knows I be trying to tell the Lord, like, Lord, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the Lord, you
Yeah.
just gave me a good message, like, Nikia, be quiet. Don't stop trying to tell God what He needs to do, and you need to start telling God what you about to do.
Right.
See,
Right.
girl. See our conversations, you know, they just help. They help us. You know what I'm saying? They help.
Yes. Yes.
And listen, listen, me and India would be on the phone, we'd just bounce back and forth, and then we'd be like, oh, okay, you know what? Oh, all right.
Yeah. I know
I
I've
just
listened quite a few times and I've been like, is he telling her to tell me this? How she know this? And why is she talking so sure? Like, yeah. I know he told her. I know he told her.
I
Yeah.
don't be knowing, I be talking. I just be talking. All jokes. Anybody that know, if you know me, you know that half the time I just be talking. But the Lord be sending out His good messages through the good talking. So I really appreciate. Like the Lord had to even show me that today, and I was like, God, you said that, and then look what you just did, and Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday you were talking. I was like, who? Okay. Got it.
I don't even know what
Because
I said. Well,
you were talking. You were
come on, talk.
talking like, like you knew the person yourself. This is exactly what's happening right now, India. Yeah. And you just have to wait. I'm like, oh, all right, got it. Got it. Yeah, real sure. Like you just got off the phone with that person.
You know, the Lord said, He a sharpshooter. Okay, He is accurate. Okay,
Very.
unlike some people with their little vague words and stuff. Oh,
Hmm.
don't give me no vague. Let me not go
Be
there.
clear.
I'm gonna go there
Yeah.
next month. I ain't going there this month. I'm gonna go there next month. Next month is next week, and I'm gonna go all the way there and then some. Okay, because I'm tired of some stuff, so I'm gonna go there next month. But I ain't gonna go there this month. This the last Wednesday of July, so I figured, what I'm saying, we got to hit it off talking a little bit about faith, because faith is important.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and you can't have a little bit of faith. Okay,
Right.
your faith needs to be on 1,000. Okay, your faith needs to be on 100,000. Whatever it is, your faith needs to be on it, point blank, period. Because sometimes a lot of things that happen to us is because we truly just did not have the faith in order to truly trust and believe God and be
Hmm.
like, you know what, Lord, I
Right.
shall wait, because this might lead me into a path of destruction, and we
Right.
don't need to be we don't need to be in any more destructive relationships because we lacked faith and because we lacked our patience to wait. We don't need that. We
Hmm.
don't need that. We don't need that. We need to grow from that. And that, if y'all ain't listened to anything over these last good 5 Wednesdays, I hope y'all listen to this. We have to grow from being connected to destructive and toxic relationships.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, we get into those situations because we truly lack the faith in God to wait to be connected to the right people for our
Hmm.
good purpose.
Hmm. Right.
Everything that we do in this life now, and let me say this: even when you connect with, let's say, toxic and destructive people, it all can
Hmm.
still bring about the purpose of God and the plan of God, right? Because somebody got to not be toxic and helpful. However, there are situations that you could have 9 times out of 10 avoided had you just
Hmm.
waited and trusted and believed in God and not
Right.
went with your own understanding, okay, and your own knowledge and your own wisdom, and trying to call it God's wisdom and trying to call it God's knowledge and trying to call it God's will and purpose for your life. We do a lot of that in these relationships. We do a lot of that, and then we're angry and we're upset when the relationships fail. Okay,
Hmm.
we can't be upset when the relationships fail, because if it was something that we were never supposed to be in to begin with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to be
And
thankful that he removed it.
girl, we need to be thankful that He removed it and
Yeah.
you and all the situation. Let me tell anyway, I'm gonna go there next month, not this month. But we truly have we truly have got to get better with how we relate to each other.
Right.
We have to get better
Right.
with that. We have to get better with our understanding of people. We
Mhm.
have to get better with that. We also have to get better with our ability to say goodbye.
Yes. Yes. Know when it's
Like,
over.
know when it's over.
And
And
that's
it is
okay. And be okay with it. Be okay with it.
and, and be okay with the over. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't hold on. And the Lord is saying it's over. Because then
Right.
what knows what's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna marry the person, and 6 months later, your head gonna go through a car window.
Or you're going to delay your purpose. Both. It's all together.
It ties. And I'm gonna tell you, and it's all jokes aside, it's detrimental to your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. Period.
Yeah.
Stop. I need all of it, men and women alike. We need to stop
Hmm.
because oftentimes people always wonder, well, why men cheat? And now we got the saying, black men don't cheat. But we know men cheat. Why do women cheat? A lot of the times we cheat. You know what I'm saying? Because we're literally going through life stuck. And you don't really know what you wanted. You never knew what you wanted. You don't recognize what you have because you're always searching for more because you have never understood how to be satisfied where you
Hmm.
are. Why
Hmm.
don't women, people, why don't women commit?
Hmm.
Why don't men commit? Why
Hmm.
doesn't a man want to be married? Why doesn't a woman want to be married?
Right.
Oftentimes, the things in which we experience in life literally will alter our perception on
Hmm.
relationships, commitment, and marriage. And we
Right.
do not want to admit that. And it's
Right.
all because this is why, let me tell you something. That's why I started to touch on the sociological effect of human sexuality. We have to understand that a lot of the things that we believe, a lot of the things that we feel is based upon a sociological effect of what has transpired around us and how we've allowed that what has transpired to literally internalize on the inside of us to then make
Hmm.
us draw certain conclusions about life.
Right.
And that is very detrimental because what can end up happening is that because you're dealing with the sociological effect, you then block yourself from experiencing something that could have been so great for you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
Right. Right.
All because your environment and your experience was so tainted that you literally formed a skewed view of what actually is beautiful. The truth of the matter, and some people don't fully understand this, marriage is actually beautiful.
It's amazing. It
Yeah,
should be amazing. If God
yeah.
created it, it's beautiful. What He created is
Hello.
beautiful. And guess what? He created marriage to not be as difficult as people make it seem. Because I hear a lot of people that talk about how hard marriage is. And I know a couple that has been married for many years, happily married. And the wife made a comment to me recently and she said, going to my job is work. My marriage is not work.
And it shouldn't be work.
It shouldn't be work. You know what makes it hard is when you don't live out your marriage the way God intended.
Yeah. Because a
If you
marriage is
follow
not,
his blueprint, it's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be. It's the selfishness that makes it hard. It's the
girl,
selfishness.
the selfishness, the ego, the pride, the I still want to be this. And it's like, no, wait a minute, pause.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they're not wanting to let go of, right? They're not
Hmm.
wanting, everybody, why do I have to compromise?
That's
Okay.
the selfishness. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to answer to nobody. If I want to go here, I just want to go. Now let's be real. I'm a different type of person, right? I don't feel me. I don't feel you need to answer to me,
Right.
right? That's like
Hmm.
real, dictatorship. Like are we in
Yeah.
a business arrangement? Like you gotta tell me, you gotta ask me. No. But I do feel
Hmm.
like if you walk out that door, I probably should know where you're going.
Hmm. We should be considerate of each other's feelings.
right? I probably should know where you're going. Now, I might not know every step of the way in which you're going. Like you can walk out the door, you know what, I want to stop here, I want to stop here, I want to stop here, whatever.
Mhm.
But when people take on this negative attitude, why I gotta tell you where I'm going? I'm going out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You wanna know why? Because anything can happen to you when you walk out that door. And if I don't have an
Right.
understanding of exactly where you're going, what direction you could be going in, or whatever the case may be, and something happens, I would think that
Right.
you would want me to be able to pinpoint a little bit. Well, I know he said he was going here, so anything can happen in between here and there, but I know that's where he said he was going, right? Same for
Right.
me. If I tell you I'm going to go get my hair, now, I'm taking the girls there. I'm doing a self-care day. I'm going to get my hair and my nails and all this stuff done, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to go out to eat, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But people literally find that there's something wrong with that. Like, I don't want to answer to you. You're not answering to me. You're just actually having a conversation. But if you don't know how to communicate and you don't understand the art of communication to where you think that everything is an answer, then how
Right.
that speaks to you and your inability to effectively communicate. And then it
Right.
also speaks to your level of selfishness. Because what in the world? Like, how do we come up with this stuff? And we
Yeah.
and then we chalk it up to, see, this is why I want to be in a relationship. This is why I want this how come I don't commit. No, you don't commit because you have issues.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't commit because you seriously have a warped perception of what commitment actually is. And it's because you have not
Right.
seen healthy commitment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You haven't seen a commitment that works. And when you haven't seen a commitment that works, you then begin to base your perception and your opinion of commitment upon things that are just so false. I said it like a week or so ago on the podcast. I'm like, listen, I don't want nobody that's up underneath me all day long, right? You
Mhm.
need to go. I need you. Listen, I would prefer that I miss you. I would really prefer it. I really would.
Prefer.
Yeah. Because guess what?
Yeah.
If I work from home, right, every day,
Mhm.
and you're home,
Mhm.
at what point are we missing each other? Because I'm just looking at your face
Right.
all day long.
Right.
And then you begin to feel suffocated.
Right.
And that's across the board. So no, if I work from home and you go out, I am ecstatic. Because when you come back in, because I work from home, you best believe dinner is cooked, house is clean,
Mhm.
because I have learned how to multitask while working from home, right?
Right. Right.
So there's always a give and take. But if we constantly view things from such a negative standpoint, because this didn't work out before and it ain't gonna work out now, so you know what? I'm just not gonna do it. No. How, like
Yeah.
I said before, how do you deny yourself of something that could be so great and new because you're still stuck on what
Mhm.
wasn't?
Mhm.
Mm-mm. Let me
Absolutely.
tell you something. People,
Absolutely.
after I went through everything I went through, people like, oh, you're not going to be ready to date. You just need to take time. You need to do this. I said, listen, pause all of that. I'm a heal, right? Let me heal. I'm a heal. But
Mhm.
what I'm not going to do is deny real, true love. That I'm not going to do. And
Right.
then people used to ask me that, like, oh, well, how will you be able to receive love? I'm like, what? The same way I received the good love of Christ, I'm going to receive the good love from a good man that wants to love me, that understands his ability to love me. Yeah, girl, folks
Mhm.
really, and because sometimes people will literally put on you the things of them without them fully understanding and knowing you.
Right.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
no, I will receive the good
Absolutely.
love.
You can't
Hello.
allow people to taint what you're going through.
No, and you ain't gonna listen, and you ain't gonna tell me where I'm at with what I'm going through neither. Like that, we're not gonna do either. You can't tell me where I'm at. If a man came and was like, you know what,
Mhm.
so and so and so and so and so, I'd be like, oh, okay, let's try this. Let's see where we going. So let's try. Like, come on, sir. Okay, sir. You ready for all of this? Because it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot.
Sister girl over here, come on. You ready?
It's a lot.
Shoot. Hello, it's a
Right.
lot.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Are you ready? Because
Right.
be sure you ready.
Right.
Okay. Because
Right.
listen here.
You know what? I said this earlier. I want God's voice to be the loudest in my life because people will have you jacked up in your own life between telling you how things are supposed to go based on their past, based on what they know. I mean, it's like living your life according to statistics.
Right.
My son had open heart surgery and there was a 95% success rate with his surgery. How did he end up on the 5%? You know what I
Right.
mean? I cannot live my life according to statistics. There were people that said getting a divorce hurts the children. And I believe that that is the case because we were not designed to be a broken family. But don't tell me that if God removes me from an unhealthy situation that he won't allow my kids to thrive. I'm
Right.
not accepting that.
Mm-hmm. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That's the truth. Hold up, I think your phone muted.
No.
Up there you go.
Right?
Uh-huh.
There I go.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
But
Yeah,
no,
I
but
won't allow
that
it.
no, you can't allow it. You can't live your life based on you cannot live life based on statistics. You cannot live life based on the opinions of others. This is why we're talking about faith. Okay? How do you walk and not have faith? How do you talk and not have faith? How do you live and not have faith? You have to have faith. Faith tells you I might not see it, but I got enough
Mm-hmm.
hope to know it's coming. That's
Mm-hmm.
faith. That's what faith tells you. Faith tell like
Mm-hmm.
real talk.
Mm-hmm.
The last these last like these last 2 weeks have been very rough for me because my faith and what I was seeing and what I felt was totally different. Faith was telling me this is possible,
Mm-hmm.
but and my
Right.
natural self was telling me this is not going to happen. This is not possible. You know what I'm saying? This is not where your life is going right now. And it had me jacked all the way up because I was like, but Lord, you said. And if you said it, then it has to be possible. So why am I feeling like this is impossible? I'm feeling like this is not a part of my life right now. Like that's how I'm feeling. And the Lord had to show me that I had to start looking at things differently. You know what I'm saying? If I said it, then you know I shall complete it. So where's your faith? Where is your faith in me
Right.
to understand that although you cannot naturally see this, it is going to happen? That's why I said when
Right.
you said, you know what, the Lord is trying to, you got to be quiet and just wait and just shut up and stop trying to tell him what to do. That's where I was like, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
Lord, you're right. Okay, you're
Yeah.
right. Because now I got
And
to
one thing.
allow you to be you.
Mm-hmm. And one thing he said is, I do not yell.
Mm.
And when you think about people that whisper, you have to come closer to them to hear them. And so you're forced to also get quiet because a loud voice will drown out somebody whispering immediately.
That's true. That is the truth. That is the truth. And Lord knows because my good tears was louder than anything that could penetrate through to
Yeah.
me. Them cries was loud, okay? And I wasn't hearing nothing. And then and look, and now, okay, here he
Right.
comes. Talk about I just need you to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I just need you to be quiet.
Right.
I just need you to calm down. I
Yeah.
need you to be quiet. I just need you to focus on where I'm taking you. Look at and it was crazy because even
Mm-hmm.
even yesterday my friend was like, look at where you at right now compared to where you were before. Look at what you're doing. Look at you gotta look at what God is doing and
Right.
understand you are right. You are right. Don't
Yeah.
allow your thoughts to overpower what he's doing. You are right. And I'm like, oh man,
Mhm.
you're right, all right. All right, I gotta snap up out of this. You feel me? Like I gotta snap up out
Mhm.
of this. Like I gotta snap up out of this
Yeah.
funk and get back to me and doing what
Yeah.
I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I think
Right.
I think that that is important for anybody in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes things happen. You know, things happen. For these last two
Mhm.
weeks, I've been dealing with this stupid apartment and these people. Y'all heard it on the podcast from two Wednesdays ago when there was a whole river running through here because they done had that whole sewage system back up into everybody's apartment that's on this level. And I was literally,
Mhm.
I was upset and I was angry about what was going on because I'm like, Lord, what did I do to deserve to live in a building that is going to sit up here and allow this to happen and
Mhm.
not act
Mhm.
or respond urgently to a call for help, right?
Mhm.
Lord,
Mhm.
where do you have me at now where
Right.
a call and a cry for help goes unheard and is not
Yeah.
responded to urgently? Okay. And
Mhm.
I had to really sit back and think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, where
Mhm.
am I now that if I call out for help, it is not responded to urgently?
Yeah.
And with diligence and with care, right? To the
Mhm.
point where I'm sitting up here doing a podcast, literally watching as the water is flowing through the bathroom into the bedroom. And
Mhm.
I got to sit here and
Mhm.
focus on this. But my mind is
Mhm.
saying there is a river running through here,
Yeah.
right? And then I chalk it up
Yeah.
to, see, this is why I need a man. Because you know what? If I had a man, he was sitting in here, he'd be dealing with this good water situation, this sewage situation, this freaking. I don't think y'all understand how bad it was in here. Like, it was literally the sewage coming up through these pipes from their little failed plumbing system that goes on in this godforsaken building. Because I swear this building is godforsaken. God has forsook this building. Um, and just saying, on this good basement level, and I was livid. Okay,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was literally livid. Okay, and
Right.
due to
Right.
me being livid, I had to deal with the situation and could not react the way I wanted to react. And but I had to
Mhm.
ask the Lord, and I got very upset and I got very frustrated. Lord, why am I here? Why am I here? And I'm still
Mhm.
asking that question because I need the Lord to move because I'm over it at this point. But I had to ask the Lord, why am I here? What was the purpose of me coming here? And I'm still trying to
Right.
figure out the purpose. I do believe that He has connected me with some awesome, neighbors of mine or whatever the case may be. So that probably was the purpose of me actually coming here. But other than that, I'm a little over this purpose, and I told the Lord it needs to be over in 30 days because I'm over it. But I'm just saying that is how I am learning how to respond to adversity in that way. What is the purpose of this in my life? You know what I'm saying? Because now
Mhm.
everything according to my faith, it has a reason and it has a purpose. So I gotta search out the purpose for it so that I don't allow what's happening to consume me in such a negative way. And that
Mhm.
truly is how and all of this is about relationships. Because you know what? Truth of it, we
Mhm.
don't understand the magnitude of relationships. We build relationships with these little management companies. We build relationships with our little maintenance department people. We literally, if we literally look at how we build life, we are constantly building relationships with people. If you go to the same corner store every
Right.
day, are you not forming a relationship with the people that you see? You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? That right there in and out of itself is important. We have to understand that everything that we do in life, we are forming relationships. And if we are outside of the will of God for our life, if we are outside of even our own faith, our purpose, our relationships, everything that we try to build will literally just be like thrown out of whack. And we have to learn how not we really have to learn how not to do that. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. Mhm.
I personally have learned a valuable lesson in that. You know what I'm saying? How to walk this faith walk and walk it in truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't put on ears
Mhm.
for nobody,
Mhm.
and that's just how I am. I'm not fake. I'm not phony. I'm not none of that. but I just believe that is important because that's how we build relationships. People attach to the realness in you. And if you're not walking in that level of realness, then people, they're not going to attach to it. So go ahead, Miss India.
Right.
What you want to say in closing? Because I know you got to tend to them good kids.
You know what? I think at the end of the day, if we can always reflect on the relationship that we have with Christ, that should be the blueprint of the relationship that we have with others. And that goes
I
across the board, regardless of the relationship. Just take it
I
back to how, our relationship with Christ. And that's just a reminder. If you don't have one, you need to get one in order to have proper, healthy relationships with others.
I agree. So listen, people, get in alignment. That's basically what she said. You need to be aligned.
Yes. Yes. Get some discernment in your life.
All of it, okay? Because it works. And don't
All
let the
of
people gaslight you in your discernment. Okay, let me say that.
No.
Okay, because
Yeah. Be
some folks,
Noah. Be Noah.
and just move on faith. Hello, no one knew, and he was like, "All right, I gotta execute this. I don't care how crazy I look. This is what I gotta do."
Be
Okay,
Noah.
be Noah. Okay, tell Christian we love him. All right, go ahead, Miss Mo, because Christian is like, "Mommy, let's
All right.
go." Love you,
Thank you.
girl. You're
Thanks for having me.
welcome.
All
Of
right. Love you.
course.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
You know what? I truly believe that we are truly in a time where we just have to literally move and do things according to our faith. We have to move and do things according to who we know we are, where we know that we are going, where we know we have left, and where we begin to understand where we're traveling to. Right? Oftentimes we do things. Because we feel like we're obligated to, right? Sometimes we feel like, oh, you know what, I got to do this because they're gonna look at me funny if I don't, and we can't live like that anymore. We have to live according to the purpose that is on our life. Everybody has a purpose on their life. Period. No matter what you have done, you still yet have a purpose on your life. And the way in which you live out your purpose truly is how you connect with people and the relationships that you have with people. And we sometimes do not value relationships the way that we should. And we have to begin to understand that we must value relationships. Relationships should be valued. They should be respected. They should be honored. They should be trusted. And sometimes we just do not hold relationships in the highest regard that we actually should hold them in. And we then have a breach because we don't know how to relate to people. So therefore, we have a breach in how we carry people. Because when you truly do think, I know everybody probably seen that little meme that went on, with all the ships or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that relationships, partnerships, companionships, they should be carrying you somewhere. And if whom you're connected to, whom you're in a relationship with, whom you're in a companionship with, whom you're in a partnership with, is not carrying you anywhere, you're literally not going anywhere, what are you doing? And I'm very big on that for the simple fact that I do not like my time wasted. You know what I'm saying? And some people probably get a little annoyed with me or a little frustrated with me because if you text me every day, good morning, eventually I'm going to stop responding because clearly we're not going anywhere outside of a good morning. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you do within a relationship should take you somewhere. Everything. And until we begin to fully operate in that and manifest in that and live in that and own that our relationships should take us somewhere. I am one of those friends that are definitely going to push you. I am a pusher. So whatever you tell me you want to do, I'll be like, okay, so did you do? One of my friends, she can truly attest to that because she'll be like, oh girl, I want to write this. I'll be like, oh, okay. Well, did you do it this way? Oh, well, did you do this? Oh, well, how about this? I am the one that I am going to remind you. And the truth of the matter is, like, I have a friend right now. He reminds me all the time. Listen, I was not going to start this podcast yet. I was not going to start it yet. I was going to wait. And when I told him I wanted to do it, he was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Okay, when did you want to start this? All right, well, I'm going to make sure that you're ready and you're prepared to start it. And when I tell you he did, I was like, oh, okay, this is me in male form. Like, oh, okay, because this is what I do to people, you know? And it's good when you can have someone in your life doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying, giving back to you what you've given so freely to other people, you know? And it's a blessing. And that's why I say, like, for our friendship, for the relationship that we have, he has truly set the bar, you know, because of that fact. You know what I'm saying? And I personally just think that is important. It is important that, you know, you learn how to exude, learn how to have, and learn how to cultivate healthy relationships, because we need that in this lifetime. We need it. It is imperative that we have healthy relationships, okay? Healthy. We have to move away from this toxicity in relationships. We have to move away from this unhealthy relationship. We have to move away from trauma bonding. We have to move away from all of that and start really and truly building on what is healthy, what is good, what is acceptable. You know, because and the truth of the matter is that is why the Bible says that his will is good, it is perfect, and it is acceptable. Okay, because everything that God has for our life, his will for our life, his plan for our life, his purpose for our life is good. It is perfect, and it is acceptable. So when you begin to carry on in relationships that are not good, to carry on in relationships that are not perfect, and understand when the Lord says perfect, he means complete. So when you carry on in relationships that cause brokenness, you're no longer whole, you're in pieces, you're lacking in his will, you're lacking. So we have to begin to understand that right there, when the Bible says his will, it is good, it is perfect, and it is acceptable. That is the foundation for our relationships. Everything, when you truly read the Bible is big on relationships. And I don't know why we as a people struggle so hard in relationships. God is literally teaching us how to relate. How to relate. How do you live amongst each other in peace? How? And then he shows us the struggles and the battles of those within, because they couldn't figure it out. They didn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And he shows us the outcome of those struggles and those battles, and we yet still face the same stuff because we have not grasped the simple concept in the good book that says, love thy neighbor as thyself. Above this, there is no law. You want to know what that's teaching us? Relationships. And we have yet to figure out how to love thy neighbor as you love yourself. That is a problem. We have mastered how to use, we have mastered how to control, we have mastered how to manipulate, we have mastered almost all of the negative characteristics of relationship, but we have not mastered how to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And above this, there is no law. We got to learn how to love. And part of that love is truly understanding that faith in God, faith in your ability to love, faith in your ability to see what is not seen, to hope for. Faith tells us that we need to believe in what we don't see, right? And then we need to hope for tomorrow. If you don't have hope, truth be told, you truly lack in faith. How do I hope for tomorrow and I don't have faith? How am I lacking in hope and scream, I got big faith? No, you don't. And we always want to say faith over fear. That is a myth. That's not biblical. It's a good catchphrase, though, but it ain't biblical. Okay? It's not about faith over fear. Okay? It's not. It's just about having faith. Because faith and fear don't belong in the same sentence. And it just doesn't. So I say all that to say it is time that we truly begin to get down to the essence of our relationships and begin to truly build upon our relationships. I love y'all. I'm about to be out because next month, for the month of August, we are truly going to tackle something that is always near and dear to me because it happened to me. But the way in which we're going to tackle it is we are truly going to talk about church hurt, but we're going to really focus on the healing side of church hurt. We can always say how we were hurt, and there are a whole lot of you who truly do not believe that there's a such thing as church hurt. Well, there is. Okay. And the truth of the matter is that we now have to take it upon ourselves to discuss how we healed after the trauma, how we healed after the hurt. And how I heal might not be how you heal, but I can definitely tell you how I healed, how I made it through. And we're going to have some special guests on in order to discuss that process. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it is important to discuss that process. Okay? Because it's so easy to say what's wrong. But how do we say what's right and how did we make it right? Was it an apology? What was it? You know, and I think that that is imperative for us to truly unpack in a healthy way. Okay, because I can tell you it happened. Okay, but now I need to tell you how I healed from it, how I became whole from it, how I became one from it, how I became strengthened from it, how I became empowered from it, because it happened. But now I need to tell you about the other side. And that's what we're going to talk about next month, you know, because I believe that it is important. And I believe that that is something that we need to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have some special guests all month long, and we're going to truly unpack this. And we're going to be transparent, and we're going to be real, and we are truly going to tell you how we heal. All right. So until next week, thank y'all for tuning in. I truly appreciate every single last one of your comments. I really do. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. I really do. It means everything to me. You know, there are so many other good things that are truly coming out of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? That I definitely do see. And I truly do appreciate everybody that has truly been rocking and really supporting and really pushing. Y'all push me, and I don't think that y'all fully understand that y'all actually push me. The encouragement pushes me. The love pushes me. All of this stuff pushes me, because at the end of the day, sometimes when you're so used to just being quiet and just silently dealing with things, what this has given is people a platform to utilize their voice. And I never want to be somebody that does not allow people to utilize their voice. That's why this is called the Muzzle is Off podcast, because I want everybody to be able to utilize their voice, and don't ever feel that you have to be silent, ever, because you don't. And if someone ever tries to silence you, one of the best people that you can come to will be me, because I am the one that will be like, no, sugar, come on and talk. Let's do this. Let's talk about this. Use your voice. Okay? Use your words. Okay? Because words literally carry power. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, if you learn how to articulate your words, you gain respect. And that's important. All right? So, this is what I'm here for. This is what I will always be here for. I'm not going nowhere no time soon, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be the muzzlers off till the wheels fall off, okay? We introduced something a little bit. We introduced the muzzlers off after dark. And I'm going to continue with that probably, once a week. We're going to do the muzzlers off after dark, because I believe that sometimes you do need a level of a raw, uncut conversation, okay? So thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for all of your support and everything. We only going up from here, all right? Everybody have a good night. Just remember, keep supporting. I just, if y'all like the pages, share the videos, share with your friends, start watch parties. I love everything that a lot of y'all have done with your watch parties and everything. Like, I truly appreciate it. Promoting the podcast in your groups, I truly appreciate it. Like, I don't think people understand like how much I appreciate their support. So I love y'all. Have an awesome night, y'all. Tune in next week, 7 p.m. because we're gonna get a little raw come next week. We really are, because there's a lot that people don't know concerning even me and my story. There's a lot that I did not share, and I think it's time for some things to be shared. All right, so same time, same place, y'all. Next week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. We're gonna be live, and this is what we're doing. All right. So have a good night. Love y'all. Everybody, please be safe. You know what I'm saying? And have a good evening.